What's up, everybody? I just wanted to do a video on getting your CDL, obtaining it. Just because when I was looking for my CDL, I looked up a lot of things online about what to expect, this, that, and the other. And I just wanted to provide some more of that and just give you, from my perspective, what happened and how it was for me. Well, so first, I lost my job due to COVID. I was making like $20 an hour, working 10 to 12-hour shifts. Everything was going good. Sold my house in Florida. Moved to another location, bought a house. Everything going good. Boom, COVID happened. And beforehand, I had thought about CDL. Like, beforehand, but my felonies weren't old enough then. It seems like all these jobs care about is 5 years. That's what it seems like, at least in the state I reside in. Whatever state you're in, it may differ. You might need to look into that. So then when I found out, it all can differ, I'm like, all right, I'm going for it, because it said 5 years at most places. My stuff's about 8-9 years old. I got 7 years of sobriety. So anywho, I'm like, I'm going for it. I paid the $5 grand. I went for my CDLA. For me personally, school was intense. The school I went to, but it was good intense. Very hands-on. A lot of driving at this school. I've heard other people that I work with. I've been doing this about a year now. That's why I wanted to make the video. I wanted to experience it more. A lot of guys said, their schooling was like no driving, this and that. I don't know what other schools do. Other people say, oh, you should have just got it on your own. But whatever. I enjoyed going to school to really get a grasp on it. They started us on littler things to bigger things. So anyway, school was intense. You had to pass tests just to get to the other test, to get to the other test, to be able to drive the big rigs, and then to do the test. For me, the CDLA test was insane. I mean, I did good. The guy said I did well. They said, I looked up, they say 70, like 80% of people, 90, I can't even remember, it was a high number, do not pass their first time. So I'm going into it like cottonmouth, just stressed, but I ended up passing. So then I go for my job search. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, you got to be the shit person forever, which understandably, that's how you start in a career. You work your way up, which I've done here, where I'm at. It's beyond perfect. But what happened, but I busted my ass for it. I do everything they say. I do all the runs they say. I do runs nobody wants to do. That's just what I do. So anyways, so for people who are like, hey, I can't get anywhere, which I heard a lot, it's like, well, you got to do the stuff you don't want to do, like at any job. It's not like you get your CDL and you just fucking, anywho. Let me get back to it. So I'm searching for jobs. I do have felonies, so I had to keep it real. They're all older than 5 years. And I was getting a lot of job opportunities, but like a lot of them weren't what I wanted. Dental, I wanted medical options, I wanted, a good job. And a lot of people have said when I watch videos that, oh, just settle. Now my wife works, so our situation is different. And then I was getting, because I lost my job due to COVID, that's why I went to school to do this. So I was getting that supplemented income. So if somebody doesn't have someone who can work for them, I get just taking the first thing you can. So I was just sitting there like, okay, I finally found a job that seemed very good. I'm not going to say their name, but they bait and switch me is what I've heard it's called. All these promises, okay, this is how much you make, this and that. It's a great job. At 10 o'clock, at 10 hours, we shut the door. We know you have 4 kids. We know you need to get home to your kids, which is fine. I was working 12 hours before. I mean, I'm not, I know that that's life, when you want to make good money. So I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. I mean, if it leaks into 12, but they said 10 hours, you shut them truck doors and you come home, you come back, and then the next day you complete it. Just painted this complete lie. Because then my first day, 14-15 hour shift. It was ridiculous, the things they had you doing. Like right now, what I do is I hop around everywhere, and a lot of it's physical labor, and then a lot of it's not, because before I was just doing fleet where I was driving normal. But I'm just giving you a background that it wasn't that I was shy of that work. And then they lied. So I said, no, you guys lied, and your weird pay scale. And then they said, oh, we'll do 20 an hour. I said, we're done. I said, you lied. And then he kept messaging me. He called me from different numbers. And this was a big, good company. But I won't say who, obviously. And I'm not going to say my current employer, but I have moved up in, in the 7 months I've been here, it's almost a year. So and I don't see any end in sight because I love it here. So anyways, the reason I wanted to make this video, I wanted to tell people though, if you're in that financial situation, and me and my wife are big into saving and, being real smart with our money. So in selling houses, we made some good money, but not a crazy amount. But what I'm saying is, like, take the leap, go for your CDL, because it has been a dream. So the reason I was talking about that first place, I went there one day, said no. I didn't get, so I lost my unemployment because of that from one day. And I'm like, but still, so I was debating it. They said they'd give me hourly, but then still, it was just, they lied. And to me, my morals in my recovery, like, I'm not going to get too much into that, but I'm like, no. Lying is no. And if this is how it was on day one, I'm not doing it. So then I went and I looked for more places. Some of the places I wasn't liking their vibe. And then I found this place. And the way their energy, they seemed truthful. I went for it, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And it has been amazing. There's been times where I've had if I had to create a boundary where I was like, okay, wait. I'll work hard, but, So anyways, all I'm saying is, just do it. Just grind. It's worth it. I love it. I listen to podcasts all day. I just wanted to give my experience through it, but I listen to podcasts all day. I get into, recovery stuff. I get into talk radio, whatever the case may be. You got to put in the work though to make the more money, but I've always heard this thing, and I was watching videos on it, that, oh, you ain't gonna find local work. You gotta start over the road. That was not true at all to me. Like, there was just an abundance of local jobs, and the thing is though, you have to work. That's the one thing, like, and I've noticed, like, a lot of, people probably hop around a lot, and I'll meet people at the docks that are like, I do this, that. Well, and by the way, I went here with my CDLA. I was going to drive CDLA, and then I started driving the CDLB truck, and then I started driving another CDLB truck, which was more money, but then they started intertwining me in all these positions, and then, I'm like, okay, let's do it. So now that's what I drive, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Not against going for my CDLA, but as I've been at the docks, I see sometimes just the tight space, and sometimes I'm just like, well, and I'm comfortable. So that too, don't think you only have to go with the big rig. You can go CDLB. I mean, whatever. So pretty much what I wanted to make this video about is what it's been like for me. There's been a learning curve, and there's been stressful times, but I just stay calm. I had an experience today where, I'm downtown in the cities, like I always am. That's where I work. I work in the cities of the state I reside in. But I pulled into this one area and I was stuck. But luckily I've wiggled my way out of it. And then there's other things you gotta look for, roads you can't go down, bridges. I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about. But this was for people who are debating on going for it, or just like are new to it. Do not settle, because it's different than other jobs. You know how you're expendable at most jobs? Most jobs are like, you're nothing, I'll replace you. I realized this since I've been doing this. We are not expendable. They are expendable. But obviously you need a good work history and you need to do your thing, but it's a totally different animal. Like, still for my job search, I got people calling, going, hey, do you want to work for us? And I'm like, oh, I got a place I love. Sorry. But the reason I say that is just places are desperate, especially everyone knows in these times with what's going on now, places are even more desperate, which would be the time to go for it and get it. That's all I got really, is that I wanted to tell my story of how it's happening for me. Yeah, it's a lot. I work long. I work usually 11 hours about. Sometimes it's 13, sometimes it's 14. The way I mentally, perception's stronger than reality, so I just always think if I'm home by 7 p.m., I'm good. Anytime past that, which I have came home at, but it's more rare because I found a place where I was like, okay, there you go. And they treat you good. So that too, that's what I wanted to say. I mean, I've always heard people talk about how, you got to work for the shittiest places. And a lot of people, when I was going for it, who are truckers that I know, said the same thing, which I believe that can happen, because I was going to, once I went to the really bad place and told them goodbye, I was to my wife like, well, now if I find another place that's just not that good, it is what it is. But I just want people to be encouraged to like really see the vibe before you're just like. But that's why I said too, they're expendable, not us. It's to the point where you could just be like, well, no, I'm going to take my CDL somewhere else. But at the same time, you can't continuously do that because then you're going to have no work history. But that's pretty much it. I can hear my truck is done being unloaded, and that's all I want to do is just put some more stories out there for trucking. Maybe I'll make some more trucking videos. I have no idea, but I absolutely love it, and I and my family's provided for more than we ever have.